Hey there, so are you thinking about possibly moving to the Thornton area and just wanting to know a little bit more about that? Well, that's exactly what this video is for. Let's get started. All right, Christy Lee here, and I am a local real estate agent in the area and a native of Colorado. If you are new to my channel, all of my videos are going to be catered to my specific favorite cities that I like to live in, places I like to visit or take my kiddo to play, restaurants, food, stuff like that. So if that's something that interests you, please click subscribe right there, and that way you're notified every time I have a new video. Okay, so today we're in Thornton, and I'm going to take you around Thornton because, you know, like I said, I am a native of Colorado, and I have personally lived in Thornton, and I have worked in Thornton. And I will say, growing up, Thornton has always kind of had this stigma of maybe not so great of a place to live in, and mainly it's a specific part of Thornton. So that's why I kind of want to cater to other parts that I want to talk about, and maybe some other parts that maybe you don't want to be in. There's really no reason not to be in those areas except for, you know, maybe it's just the different type of feel that it offers, and then there's a newer part of Thornton that is just definitely a lot more appealing to especially people who are moving to the area. So Thornton is located about 10 miles just north of Denver. So the accessibility to the Denver area is incredible. That's one thing I will say that's a huge positive for this area, because you could get down to Denver in really no time. I will say I-25 though, because that's the main stretch that you get into Denver. That is kind of a nightmare. Really, honestly, all times of day. I don't know why, it just always is. They've added on an express lane over there, but it still doesn't seem to work all that well. So just know, if you plan on working in Denver, so going there and coming home from work probably will take you a lot longer, just because of the amount of traffic that's on that area. The express lane does help. We do have the light rail that comes up to about, I believe it's 112th. So that'll get you, you know, at least close to the, you know, the top part of Thornton anyways. So, I mean, that's at least accessibility right there. If you have the light rail, there's obviously the RTD buses that'll go down there. But in overall, it's 10 miles. It's going to take you about 30 minutes to get into town. There is bike paths that'll take you directly in there as well. I've ridden them many times. I absolutely love the path that gets down there. So if you are an avid bike rider, you could hop on 104th, and it'll take you right into Denver, directly into Denver, and it'll actually go past Denver all the way down south. So that's something to take note of as well. Another great thing about the Thornton location is it's extremely close or accessible to DIA, so the airport. Depending on what part of Thornton you're living in, you could hop on obviously I-25 and get into I-70. That'll take you out to the airport. But if you're on northern part of Thornton, you could get to E-470, and that'll take you out to the airport as well in no time. The only drawback with that is going to be there is the tolls, but worth every penny in my opinion, because it'll take you to DIA. You could get there in 20 minutes. Might cost you about 10 bucks, but worth every penny. One thing that I absolutely love about Thornton is the things that they're actually adding to this area, which are great fun outdoor activities for the family, for your friends to hang out. So right behind me is Top Golf. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it, but Top Golf is awesome. We have two of them in Colorado, one up north in Thornton, and then one down south in Parker. And it's just 3 levels of outdoor, you know, golfing. You get to play, it's like kind of like bowling, but a golf version. You get to have food, the drinks, parties, whatever. It's just really fun. It's right off the highway on I-25. And then also across the highway on the west side, they don't have it built yet, but in this area as well is going to be IKEA. So that's zoned to be IKEA out here too. So again, we have IKEA already down south near the Park Meadows Mall, and so they're actually going to be building one up here off of Highway 7 and I-25. Honestly, don't know when that's going to happen, but I do know it's coming. So it's just showing the growth that North Thornton is offering to their residents out here. All right here I'm at the Denver Premium Outlets out here in Thornton, even though it says Denver Premium Outlets. We are in Thornton. It's right off of a Highway 25 and 136, in between 136 and 144th. It's awesome. It's only been open for a couple years, but it does have all of your elite shopping experiences, so all your higher end shopping stores out here just at the outlet prices, which is fantastic. It is great to have it in this area because depending on where you're living in the Thornton area, you do have easy access to get over here. If you don't want to go here, you obviously have Flatirons Mall that's going to be really close out in Broomfield, and then you could head downtown to Cherry Creek, and you go to the Cherry Creek Mall out there as well. If you're looking for something cool to do with your kids, Boondocks is actually just one exit up on 120th. That's really cool if you've never been there. It has putt-putt golf, the bumper cars, you know, bowling, all of that kind of stuff. It's really, really cool. It's really, really fun. I will say though, from personal experience, it's a little dirty, but my 3-year-old didn't seem to care, and he said he had a great time. So to each their own. And then right across the street from the outlets is going to be the Orchard Mall as well. So you have that too. It just doesn't have as many stores over there, but there is dining over there, sushi's over there, Italian restaurant. And then right up the street on 144th, still in Thornton, you're gonna have Cabela's, Hobby Lobby, what's else up there? There's a few things up there. So it's going to be really, really close. And then again, across the street, you also have Lowe's. So Thornton as a whole, like I've already mentioned before, anywhere you're located in this area, you're going to have the accessibility to so many conveniences, shopping, restaurants, entertainment. There's a movie theater across the street. So there's just a lot of things just located right up and down I-25, which is essentially Thornton, depending on where you're at. So Thornton is overall a great location for so many things. So northern Thornton, right around pretty much 128th or so, going up to Highway 7, which is right around 160th and I-25, is notorious for all their new build homes. So you definitely could get a new build out here. There's so many builders. Right now I'm in one of the many Lennar communities out here. There's Toll Brothers, Richmond Homes, I believe Shay's out here as well. So there are just so many communities that are being developed up here because everything is moving north. So when you leave Denver, things were just eventually just gradually going north, and Thornton was the first stop. And then even Thornton, for a while, it kind of stopped right on that 124th, 28th area. And then since then, over the last 10 years or so, 15 years, now we're getting all these pocket communities that are taking over. And so you could get a great new build home. Right around, the new builds are going to be starting around that mid 500s, obviously going up to, you know, over $1 million, just depending on where you're at, what type of home and what builder. But you definitely could get something new. Now, the only thing about Thornton, I would say, is because a majority of Thornton is going to be on the east side of I-25. Now, if you're somebody who is adamant about either wanting to get into Denver Boulder pretty easily, or somebody who really likes those views, Thornton might not be the place to be, mainly because it is on the east side of I-25, meaning that it's going to be a little bit longer to get into Boulder. So I would say probably about 35-40 minutes to get into Boulder if there's no traffic. And you know, the views, because we are a little bit farther east, of course, you're just not going to have as many. Can you see the mountains? Yes, of course, you can see the mountains anywhere really in Colorado, but it's just not going to be as grand as if you were on the west side of 25. And you know, I mean, obviously that's a broad statement. Obviously there's going to be communities out here that will offer it, but for the most part, I would say a good 80% of these communities out here, you probably are not going to have that dead mountain view, and again, going to be a little bit farther from Boulder. Right behind me is just even more new builds in the area. Like I said, this whole northern part of Thornton is just booming, just blowing up, and this is just showing you that there's construction everywhere out here. I do get a lot of questions on, if you choose to do a new build in this area or any area, do you need a real estate agent? And the answer is absolutely yes, yes, yes. A couple things about that. So whether you're doing a new build or you're just purchasing an existing home, as a realtor, we work for you for free if we're on the buy side. So you never have to worry about paying us anything. Our services and our expertise are there for you for free. When you're choosing to do a new build, there's a lot of situations within the new build scenario that you need to pay attention to, and that's what your realtor is for. And also with price. So you have a lot more negotiating power with a realtor. For instance, just in the last week, I was able to get 2 of my clients under contract with new builds at $15,000 less than the builder's original asking price. In this day and age, in 2021, with the seller's market that it is, that's very rare to do with the builder. But we got it done, and that's because they had a realtor. Also, you need to pay attention to the building process as a whole. Make sure that things are going correctly, things are being built correctly. And if you're building and you're living out of state, your realtor will be in town, obviously. So we're able to take a look at it, keep things going, check on it when we are, driving by, and also attend those meetings that need to be attended if you can. So that's just something to think about if you're considering a new build, especially in this area. Like I said, look at all these behind me. This community this is another Lennar community. Actually, there's a bunch of them out in Thornton right now. Is right on a path. So like I said, there is paths everywhere out here. So if you're an active person who likes to ride your bike or walk your dog or whatever, take your kids, walking around, Thornton is going to be the place to be, because you have paths that'll connect you all over the city, and that's huge if you want to stay active. So obviously there's more to Thornton than just new builds, right? So it has been a very established city. It's actually one of the newer cities in Colorado, being established in the mid-50s, I believe. So it is relatively new. You can get an existing home, single family home right now. The average price on those is going to be about mid 400, so $450,000 is going to be right where you're starting for a single family home. That's going to get you just under about 2,000 square feet in a great community. They are, beautiful communities, typically built in the 70s or 80s. You definitely could get them in the 90s as well. They will be a little bit higher in that price point. But you could definitely get a solid home in this area for about, $450,000 to $500,000. Another great thing about living in the Thornton area is that you have access to 3 separate rec centers. So just like the one behind me is one of them, you're gonna have access to the pools, the gyms, obviously, there's like tennis courts, basketball courts, stuff like that, all within these rec centers. And like I said, there is 3 of them. Thornton is relatively large, so you will have access no matter where you live in this city. Okay, one of the coolest things that's in Thornton, and right on the cusp of actually Federal Heights, is Waterworld. And Waterworld is a huge attraction in Colorado. It's one of the biggest water parks, I believe, actually in the country. It's huge, it's massive, many acres worth of water slides and stuff like that. I remember as a kid coming here several times a week all summer long. It's so fun, and it just has continued to grow over the years. There's a dinosaur ride, there's Indiana Jones. It's just really cool. So if you do live in Thornton, or even if you don't live in Thornton and you're just visiting Colorado, head over to Waterworld, because it's so much fun. They did just close because it is now fall, but they did just close, but it's awesome. It's a blast, way better than Six Flags. Head out here. It's right here in the heart of Thornton. All right, one thing I will say about the Thornton area is that it's definitely not short on amenities. So depending on where you're at, you're absolutely gonna have stores, restaurants, conveniences within minutes of where you live. Right now I'm on 120th in Colorado. Right behind me is Old Chicago. You have King Soopers, which is essentially a Kroger grocery store. Kohl's is across the street, but then along 120th, you're gonna have a lot more things. So you're gonna have Olive Garden, TGI Fridays, Super Target, Barnes and Noble. Then you keep on going even farther west, you have a lot more restaurants, a lot of restaurants, a couple steakhouses over there, and then you just keep on going, and you're gonna hit, eventually you're gonna hit Westminster if you keep on heading west. If you go north, Thornton, so you know, you're gonna have the outlet mall is gonna be up there. Again, King Soopers and Safeways are all over the place up here. So you definitely are not short on grocery stores. The outlets are gonna be up there, and then you also have Costco's up there, Home Depot. So there's just so many amenities within Thornton. They're definitely not lacking on that, that's for sure. Now I mentioned there's a part of Thornton that I'm just not personally keen on, and that's going to be anything really south of 92nd or Thornton Parkway and I-25. So it's going to be right around 88 through 92nd-ish, a little bit of 104th going up to 104th. And there's really no rhyme or reason why I don't really like it, other than the fact that it's a lot older, a lot older. Community, a lot older houses, a little bit more run down. You're going to have more of the trailer parks are going to be more in that area, mainly more on the Federal Heights side of Thornton, but you definitely will have a lot smaller houses, so ones that are going to be built in the 50s and 60s. But these homes for sure are going to be, you know, less than 400,000, probably going to be hovering right around that 360, 370,000 mark. So if that's your price point, absolutely, these are definitely great places to live, because honestly there's nothing wrong with this community or this area other than the fact that it's just going to be older and a little bit more run down. At some point I think that you know as people move in here and they start to, you know, buy these homes and fix them up and things like that, it will start to look a little bit better. But right now it's just a little bit on the older side, and for me personally, I like it to be a little bit more north, a little bit more newer. That's just my own opinion. I will also say when it comes to Thornton, and mainly in my opinion, I'm going to say this area a little bit more, is that Thornton is, I believe, about 11% higher in their crime rate than the Colorado as a whole. So that's just something to think about, and I personally believe it's just going to be more in this area. Again, you're going to check that on your own. Don't take my word on it 100%. This is just coming from, you know, what I've researched and just from my personal knowledge of the area. That it is just going to be a little bit more common to have a little bit more crime in this area. Obviously crime happens everywhere. There is no address for crime. It could happen in $1 million homes, but it tends to happen a little bit more in this area. All right, so there is a lot of schools in the Thornton area, and so Thornton is going to be in the Adams 12 5-star school district, and overall it's a pretty good school district. Is it higher, or is it as high as some of the other ones in Colorado? No. According to niche.com, it got a B rating, which is still pretty good, you know, in my opinion. If you don't have kids, you have nothing to worry about. Who cares? It doesn't matter. But if you do have kids, definitely do your research on Thornton. Adams 12 5-star school district, that's what we're in. There's a bunch of schools in this area, some better than not. My friends, I have a couple friends who actually work in the school district, absolutely love the school district, want their kids to go in the school district. So in all reality, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but other people do prefer other areas as well, so just do your research on that. That's it. That is Thornton in a nutshell. Hopefully that's given you a little bit more information about the city, some things that you could do within the city, home prices, things like that. If it's something that you would like more information about, please let me know. I'd love to assist you. I help people from all over the place. I take your phone calls and your text messages. Please reach out to me with any questions that you might have. If you're moving to Colorado and just want more information about any other city as well, let me know. Again, click that subscribe button right there. That way you are notified for any new videos that I have coming out. And to the next video, take care. Bye-bye.